What's going on, guys? Coach Dorian Warmsley here, aka Coach Cardi D. I'm in the studio today with Jay Haleem. Great things coming, real, raw stories. Tune in today.
Does your roof need some love? Maybe a whole roof makeover? Rhino Roofing can make your roof as good as new. Any job, big or small, residential or commercial. Go to rhinolovesroofs.com to get a free estimate. That's Rhino Roofing at rhinolovesroofs.com to get the roof of your dreams. Rhino Roofing, Las Vegas's premier roofing company. rhinolovesroofs.com. That's rhinolovesroofs.com.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jay Haleem. We are back for another session. We are in this studio, and I'm excited to have this brother in here with me. I got a good friend of mine in New York who is what's called a sober wellness coach as well, and I know his stories. Nothing like his. I mean, everybody has their own dynamic story, but I've never heard something like this brother's story here. So I'm glad to have him here so he can tell you the story, and also hopefully the plan is to touch somebody in a special way, so that you can know it's not always just about business. You know, people can turn their pain into for profit, but at the same time, how can we help somebody by telling our testimony? And I think this brother's testimony should help somebody today. I want y'all to give a warm welcome to the great, I'm going to let you say your nickname because I'm about to mess it up. Dorian Warmsley, thank you so much for coming in, man. I appreciate you.
What's going on, Jay? Thank you. I appreciate you having me on today. I love, I've seen some of your guests that I know, and I love that it's real people with real stories.
Yeah,
I think that's missing sometimes in life, that we see the outside world of how they look now, but we don't know the true story of what's really going on with them, how they really get to where they're at.
That was literally the plan. You know, we've been doing this for about 10 years, almost coming up this year in 2026. It'll be 10 years. And I started in a small town with this, and my background, I started off interviewing celebrities and things like that, but I ended up in a small town where there were no celebrities. But it was people that still had stories. And nobody was thinking about interviewing them, let alone podcasting wasn't blowing up 10 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, but just going out there talking to people, telling their story, that actually made me who I am and put me on the map in that city and other places. And so coming here to Vegas, I said I was going to do the same thing. So that was definitely on purpose. I mean, I love business. I've been in entrepreneurship, but it's a person behind that business, and we wanted to get to know them.
Yeah, I agree. I like what you said about there were no celebrities, so you got, in a sense, regular, normal people, but they still got stories. And I think that's almost more impactful and important, because when you hear somebody, everyday person who works a job like you or looks like you, and you hear their story, you're like, damn, I'm not alone.
Yeah, and you need to know that, because, I mean, look at social media now. Everybody's either ultra rich or ultra poor. And it's like 98% of people in the middle of that, because you got the 1% or 2% rich and the 1% rich and 1% ultra poor. Nobody talks about the other 98%. And so I felt like it was my job to go ahead and do that. And in real business, you go where most people are. You don't want to go trying to catch the 1%, the lottery ticket over here.
Yeah.
And I damn sure don't want to be down here with the 1% of the poor, you know. But let's inspire them from real people in the middle. So that was part of the plan.
And also, I love what you said, because sometimes people don't show, they like to show only the highlights of all the good that's going on, right? And that's great. You definitely want to see the wins, but at the same time, you got to be raw and honest and show the hardships.
Yeah.
Show the stuff that's not pretty, show the stuff that's not filtered, show the stuff that's not perfectly angled or perfectly lighted, right? And that's great with podcasts like yours that are giving people that stage to do so.
Yeah, that's my life, man, and I just wanted to bring that to the forefront, because mine wasn't like that. Once I wrote my first book, you know, a lot of people who I did a lot of business with was like, I didn't know this about you. I didn't know that about you. And they couldn't. You know, they couldn't, because I needed to get my work. I needed to do my business. I had to create a whole nother identity for myself, and I'm interviewing you, but just letting people know, like, I had to create another identity for myself and even for me in order to be successful business-wise. And I'm talking like real stuff. A guy that was in my same, like 30 miles away from me had my same government name. Wow. He was a sex offender. Wow. So I couldn't use, from start to finish, my first, middle, and last name.
Damn. Nice.
And, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't from that particular state, but at the end of the day, I'm here now. Then being a convicted felon, so I got both things going on at the same time. I got to create a whole nother avenue, because otherwise I won't get nowhere. I definitely can't get a regular job. You know what I mean? So people have those stories. And so when I met other people, I met people just coming out of prison for murder, and you don't know that because they just working and grinding, but they telling me like, oh man, I just got out, I did 20 years, I did this, and it just changed the whole atmosphere. So, having people like yourself, once I read about your story, I was like, hold up, we got to talk. You hit me up and we talking like, yes, we got to have it. So I'm excited for people to hear your walk and your path. So let's start from the beginning, man. Are you from Vegas?
No, I'm originally from Orange County, California. Okay. It's a city called Fullerton.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Okay, so most people aren't, they think, when I say Orange County, they think of
Costa Mesa.
Housewives of Orange County, or I'm like, nah, man.
Costa Mesa.
I wish I lived like that, but I grew up pretty much 20-25 minutes from Disneyland.
Yeah. So
that general area. Moved to Vegas when I was in middle school in 04. Okay. And then been here ever since.
Okay, cool. So, because most people are not born here.
No,
that's right. And now you're seeing a whole lot of changes. So what's the biggest difference you see from 04 to now?
Man, it's wild. Like, there's parts of Vegas that weren't developed yet. Like where I live now, inside of town, Southwest, a lot of that was not there when I first moved here. And now, over the past few years, we got IKEA over there, we got Durango, the new gym over there. That whole area is just growing and thriving every day.
Costco is just
Costco. Oh, I love it. 3 minutes from my house now. Easy to get gas. Sometimes I don't know if you get Costco gas or not, but
Sam's.
So sometimes I'll have like 3/4 of a tank full. Since it's so close, I'm like, you know what? Let me just top it off since I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm a Sam guy. I got Costco, but again, I live in the Southwest too, and it just got there.
Oh yeah, Sam's right there.
Yeah, Sam's been there. Yeah, Costco just got there. Yeah. So I just went ahead and ran with Sam's. But Costco's okay. We hired with them. But yeah, so being in Vegas, you said in 2014 you had a tragic accident.
Yeah.
What happened between being that fun-loving kid in 04 to 10 years later? What was life like?
That was 10 years. From the time I moved here to the time it happened. I just thought about that.
I studied, man.
What happened was alcohol. Mm-hmm. Once I became a young adult, no direction. My father was in my life. Mm-hmm. So once I graduated high school, I really didn't know what I was going to do, what direction. Nobody to point me in any way of success and what to do next. So I got into partying. Mm-hmm. My younger, 19, 20, early 20s is partying, have a good time, and I was abusing alcohol. Mm-hmm. I wasn't just getting tipsy and have a good time. I would go to the point of blackout. Yeah. And I enjoyed it. Yeah. I looked forward to it. I planned for it. Like I knew, if we drinking tonight, Jay, I gotta make sure I got work tomorrow because I'm going all in. Oh, wow. I'm blacking out by 2. Wow. By 2 a.m. I'm done. I'm excited for it. Yeah. And that ultimately led me to almost 11 years to the day, out with some friends on a party bus, same thing. The last thing I remember on that party bus was drinking from the Jose Cuervo bottle, smoking a blunt, and then a week later I woke up in the hospital. Wow. And I was like, what? I was in a coma for 6 days. Wow. And then not knowing how I had gotten there, and I'm looking around, my mom is there, I could see that she looked just scared. Yeah. And I've never seen her scared like that before. And she lets me know, like, hey, you fell from a 4-story window. Wow. And when she said that, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, that doesn't happen to people. Yeah, exactly. Right? Like, that, I couldn't take that in and put it together, like, how? And I was in the hospital for about 3 weeks. I fractured my spine, I broke my ribs, punctured my lung. I couldn't move my body, I had to learn to walk again. So 3 weeks of rehab in the hospital, and during those 3 weeks, I just kept telling myself, I gotta get out of here. Yeah. Because laying in the hospital bed, it was just horrible because I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything for myself. I was stuck watching Tyler Perry movies all day in the hospital because that's all they had. Yeah, I seen every Tyler Perry movie to date, and I was like, man, I'm over it. I need to get out. I was in there for Thanksgiving. That was hard, and just that environment, just sickly, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And just to rehab every day. One thing I did do though, that when I was in there, is I came across the book The Secret.
Yeah.
And I read it while I was in there because I was having anxiety every night, so I'll just read it. And it started to help me shift my perspective on what I can control, what I can't control.
Yeah.
The whole idea of manifesting, which I believe in, but I think manifestation, you can't just think it, visualize it, you got to put action towards it.
Definitely. You got to say that again, because people think that they'll sit in the corner and just do this, and it's going to come.
Yeah. And I just did the work, the therapy that I could do, and after about 3 weeks, they gave me the clearance to go home, and the healing journey kind of began.
Okay. Were you able to walk when you went home?
No, I had a walker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had a walker, but I couldn't walk.
How long was the whole process of getting back to what you would call 100%?
So 3 weeks, I left with the walker, and then maybe overall 3 months before I was like walking on my own.
Yeah.
But still using a back brace.
Okay.
And then slowly but surely walking and getting better.
Okay. Did you play any sports and stuff like that in high school?
High school, yeah. Football, basketball. I played ice hockey as a kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for 3 years ice hockey when I was younger. And that was what was devastating the most for me after my accident. I didn't play college or anything, but I still played it for fun.
Yeah.
Now my body couldn't do none of that.
That's also a social aspect as
exactly.
well. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's really, because I mean, you're like, what, early 20s at this point?
23.
Yeah, so, going to the gym to hoop, is the thing.
It is.
Sometimes you meet your girls there.
Yeah.
Everything is about that. So, hey, look, you got to think about that. People think about, I just couldn't go here, I couldn't eat what I want. Like, it's so many other components that come to it, What was the relationships like, because you pretty much was out of pocket for like half a year? People come to see you, or so lose some relationships?
Yeah, definitely did lose some. When I was in the hospital, I had one visitor, one of my high school friends, close friend of mine, and when he was there, after being there for like 5-10 minutes, for some reason I just got crazy anxiety, and I had to ask him to leave.
Okay.
And then during that period, I had no visitors, I didn't talk to nobody. I texted one of my closest friends. We would text every day, just check in on me. But I told my mom, no visitors. I just couldn't handle it. For whatever reason, the anxiety was just getting to me. And as I got out the hospital, I distanced myself from some people, but I was just stuck in trying to get better.
Yeah.
And once I got better, it felt good to go back out to my friends. But the thing is, once I got better, I went back to my old ways.
Okay.
So I went right back to drinking. Less than 5 months later, back to drinking. I remember my birthday, April. So like 5-6 months after my accident, I was messed up. I was drunk and back to it.
Wow.
Thinking I was in control.
So because again, you're still young. You still want to have fun. Do you believe that it's like, or were you at a time when you felt like fun couldn't exist without having that cocktail?
Yeah. I used to be that person that thinking like, you can't have fun without alcohol.
Yeah.
Like, who are you? What's wrong with you? Grow up, drink a little bit. That was my mindset when I was younger.
But did you have friends that say that to you? Like, you'll be alright, toughen up. Because, us coming up, that was a thing. That was a rite of passage. Can you drink? Oh, we drunk you under the table. Yes. And so you just proving that you're still a man, or that masculinity scenario. So what was one of the things that made you finally take that turn and make that shift?
Before I answer, what's funny is you saying that, it reminded me of Eddie from New York, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah, it reminded me of the scene of Paid in Full. You be alright, B. You get shot every day. You be alright.
Yeah, you tough.
You tough.
Exactly.
So the realization when it took me, it's crazy, my accident happened in 2014. I didn't stop drinking until 2021, the end of 21.
Oh yeah, we got some more to talk about then. Yeah. Oh wow, so this is amazing because you would have thought that you had some type of celestial moment in the hospital. I was waiting for you to tell me, God came to you, or, the preacher came and laid hands on you or something like that. That wasn't the case.
No.
That wasn't the case. You went right back to your old ways.
Yeah, so once I got better, I went back to my same group of friends doing the same stuff. In my mind, I was like, okay, as long as I don't get blacked out,
you good.
I'll be good. Because when I blacked out, I fell from a window. But now, if I could just stop when I get tipsy, and I started doing that. I'll get tipsy, I'll stop, but then there'll be one night where I kind of get a little too far, but then I'm okay. So I'm like, okay, I can go. I'm good. I can go back to it. And then the cycle repeated itself again and again. The only time I stopped was in 2016 because I was on probation for 2 years. So I didn't drink during that period. So I don't go to jail. But once I got off probation, oh man, I hit it running. 2017 all the way to 2021. The next 4 or 5 years.
But did you understand? Did that teach you something that you had a level of discipline that you were able to stop for those 2 years while you was under supervision?
During the period it was happening, no.
Okay.
My only fear was going back to jail, and I was not going to do anything.
Oh yeah, because I've been in that situation. I used to get mad at my friends, like, you know, we all did some time and went and go to jail and stuff like that, and I'm on supervision, and I'm like, I ain't doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I see these dummies like, okay, I help bail you out, and you can't stop smoking until you done with your supervision. Like, ain't no way in the world you about to get me like this. You gotta catch me in transit doing something. And not gonna be because I'm chilling. I can't, you know, I'm not strong enough to stop doing something like that. So okay, so you was like, hey, I can manage them. It's managing.
Yeah.
I can manage this, but as soon as I'm out of here, I can't wait to turn up again.
100%. So the reason to stop drinking then was the fear of getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Not because I felt like it was a problem.
Okay.
So then once I got on probation, I went back to drinking. 2017, 18. It just got back to what I was doing.
What was life like though at the time? Job, career, your relationships with, like, probably with females, your family. Did it affect anything like that?
Yeah, so in 2017, once I got probation, I was kind of just couldn't get jobs because now I had a record, so it was hard to get jobs. Mm-hmm. The end of 2017, I ended up getting a job at a dispensary. Mm-hmm. A good friend of mine got me in. This is right when it went legal. And I started to make better money, and I started to kind of figure things out. But I didn't know what I wanted to do long term.
Yeah.
But going through the rehab recovery process of my accident, and I was in the rehab, and I was seeing people like get better, and I was like, I made it at a 4-story window. I can help people.
Yeah.
And I liked working out at the time, and I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can figure out how to use fitness to make money, because I like doing it.
I love it. Let's go back to what are some of the jobs that you were denied when you were.
Oh man.
Because I mean, we share that story in common, and this was for me years ago. I'm a little older than you, but I was in college when I got jammed up and coming out, couldn't get a job, having student loans, things of that nature. I mean, my denials was, stacked high as the ceiling. So what were some of the jobs that you were denied,
And it was unfortunate because a lot of good friends of mine got me in the positions for the jobs. So for example, when I first got out, 2016, one of my good friends working at a warehouse got me in, interview, drug test, everything good. Background check 2 weeks later, sorry, warehouse, right? Then I went to 24-hour fitness to work. I was willing to work anything. I was like, just get my foot in the door.
Yeah.
Background check, didn't pass. I even got a job playing video games. So they would sit me up at a desk, give me an iPhone, and I would play the video game for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And I got to find the bugs in it.
Okay.
They let me work for 2 weeks when my background check was going. Once it came back, they let me go. And I'm like, now granted, I didn't try fast food or anything like that because I just didn't want to.
They probably did the same thing.
Yeah, but and it's crazy because I didn't even have a felony. I had a grand misdemeanor. And
because usually what we had before they would make you put on the list or just put down and they tell you, just tell them everything and it'll be fine. That's the biggest lie. I'm gonna let y'all know now.
Nope.
If you got a record and you disclose it, without them checking, you're in trouble. You're just helping them. It's like 1,000 people looking for that job. You just got your resume thrown to the side, or deleted because they don't even have paper ones no more. But it's deleted. So let me just tell y'all that right now. Stop lying to our people. As soon as you put that on the list, oh, I'm that. Nah, we good. We'll go to somebody else. If you can't pronounce your name, nah, we'll go to somebody else. So make sure we know that we're not leading people astray. But I wanted to definitely highlight that because you're having a hell of a journey because you survived something that most people wouldn't probably survive from. Because maybe you could have jumped and broke your legs, but you fell, you fall, and you blackout drunk. You didn't fall the right way. No. You didn't fall the right way. So did spirituality kick in at any point from the fall in 2014 to doing some time to not having these opportunities or having opportunities to having them snatched from you the way they did? Did spirituality kick in at any time?
I would say a little bit. Mm-hmm. I'm not religious in that aspect. The book The Secret did help me switch my mindset and my thought process on myself. focus on what I can control, can't control, and and just taking accountability. That's honestly the biggest thing that helped me was being accountable. I'm in this position because of my choices.
I love it.
Rather the environment influenced me, whether it don't matter. I'm grown. Once you hit 18, you're an adult. I can't keep using the excuse of my dad not being in my life. I can't keep using being raised in low income on food stamps. At some point, I just had to take accountability, and I'm here because of me.
Yeah.
And that kind of is what helped me shift all these years to get me where I'm at now. And yeah, some things are unfortunate. Somebody might do you wrong. Something might not be fair.
Yeah.
That's part of the game, baby. That's part of the game.
Choose to focus on. What you choose to focus on. So you started working at a dispensary.
Yeah.
What you did, was that triggering, or were you overdoing it there too?
So at that point in my life, I was still getting turned. I was still getting turned at that point, and then I got free weed. What?
You testing it out?
Yeah. So it was even. I wasn't getting blacked out drunk at that point, but I was still abusing. But at that point, I was also mixing Adderall.
Wow.
So I was using Adderall and weed and liquor to help me really get turned.
Wow. That's crazy, man, because, coming from the East Coast, it wasn't everything went legal. Over here, I mean, it wasn't as early as California and other places, but, y'all used to hearing that type of stuff. I think the only reason New York, I think Connecticut got it, then New York and New Jersey had to follow. You know what I mean? Because they're like, all right, let's go. But really, that was always a West Coast thing.
Yeah.
We were, hey, go to Cali so you can just smoke the way you want to smoke or whatever, and all the subsequent cities and states. But what was life like in Vegas once it became legal and everything like that, and you are being turned? What was it like for you guys?
It was interesting. It was kind of surreal. Like we can really go to a dispensary, pick up whatever, a joint, blunt, all ready for you. It's legal. And you could it was cool.
Yeah.
I didn't get to go any of the lounges or anything they built later in the years. I was done smoking by then. But it was interesting to think you can always get your supply. You didn't have to wait for the plug anymore.
Yeah.
You didn't have to hit them up. You didn't have to look for deals. You kind of know what you're getting. It's like a trusted product.
Yeah.
Like, I know what I'm going to get for this amount of money every time. And then the variety was crazy.
All I can think of is Nas' song with Lauryn Hill. His first stanza, he said, imagine smoking weed in the streets without cops harassing.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like 95, 96. And so to look at this now, all these years later, like, wow, he kind of prophesied that. Can you turn his mic up some? So when you think about that, and I asked that question for this question, do you think that helped or hurt people who were struggling with addictions?
That's hard. I can see it both ways. Because them not feeling like they have to hide it, easier access, could be better because it's controlled.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that instant access makes it easier.
Yeah.
And for some, I do believe weed can be a gateway.
Yeah.
Because it's been portrayed as something so bad, but now you can do it freely, and then now it's like, okay, let me see what else I can probably dabble into here and there.
Yeah, for sure. Was it bad for you? Did it push you over the edge?
No,
Okay.
not at that point. At that point, I was still
You just
on my turn.
chilling, just
Yeah, it was
turning up
2017, 18. I was still in my party YOLO life.
What made you get to the Adderall?
So I had the prescription based on my accident. When I went through, they gave me it, right?
Yeah.
Friends of mine were in school, and I wouldn't do it, but they buy it for me. So I'm like, cool, it's extra couple $100 a month. I'll sell it to them.
Yeah.
One of my friends in particular was using it to get through his degree. So then when I started studying for my personal trainer exam, I'm not a school person. I'm like, oh, he did it for that. I could probably do it for this.
Yeah.
So I pop it, sit there, study, but I wouldn't study.
Yeah.
I would get up and start cleaning and organizing stuff, do everything but study.
Yeah.
And then I went to a music festival, and I remember I was drinking. At this time, I was on Douce, Tough. And I would drink, but I would get so drunk that I fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait a minute, Adderall's an upper. Let me take Adderall first.
Now you're a scientist.
So now
you're
so when I drink, I don't fall asleep because I want to stay up.
Yeah.
It was good, but it was bad because then it would keep me up, and then I wouldn't feel as drunk. So then I would drink more, and the next day would be the worst hangover ever. And the best thing to cure hangover, keep drinking.
Drink
So then now I'm 2-3 days in, I've been there every weekend. And then by Monday, Tuesday, I'm hurt.
Let me tell you something. It's so crazy, and I'm glad we having this discussion because it's an educational, topic. When I first went to jail as an adult, I had to go to like a rehab. It was a drug charge. I didn't know it was rehab. It just, my first offense as an adult, so they put me in a program. And everybody's going through saying their name, and I'm like, hold up, the hi Jay, I'm like, I'm in the wrong place. I'm not supposed to be here. And the guy said, said to me, he said, look, selling drugs is just as addictive as using them. But what I always remember that, but what I do remember is hearing so many people say that they got addicted from doing something that they like. And one thing I remember a guy saying, two guys actually, older guys said they got addicted to heroin because they would take it before they had sex. And they would have the best sex of their life. And so now they're running to go get some heroin before they go with this beautiful woman that they meet. And then before you know it, they hooked. And so fast forward to your situation, like same thing. You're like, oh, well, I'm trying to do something to better myself, and I'm trying to use this, and I'm getting the results short term what I think I want, but not knowing that I'm hurting myself long term. So that's kind of crazy. So hopefully you guys paying attention to that, the kids and anybody else. If that's something you're like, hey, well, maybe it might get me there for right now. You might not want the gas station pill. You might want to go get a medic, go see an actual MD and get a prescription or something like that just to get what you need to get. But no, I definitely want to highlight that because obviously, no matter what side of the country, the same type of things was going on.
100%.
So you got to 2021?
Yeah, 2021.
Obviously, you became a trainer. Yeah. In that time while you were, still chilling and partying.
Yeah.
Give it to us. What happened to you to say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna make this shift?
Yeah, so I started 2020 is where I got my first coaching job. Okay. Right before COVID happened. So now I'm working as a fitness coach, still drinking. Every weekend I'd be coaching and smelling like tequila. I would turn the fans on. And there were times where I'd call in because I was just having hangover anxiety, couldn't work.
So you was working at a company?
Yeah, a gym called Orange Theory.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so I was working there and nobody knew, but I'd be in there sweating and stressed and scared, like just like anxiety was what they call it. And that went on for a few years. Towards the end of 21, I started dabbling into side work, like training, a personal training business outside of the group fitness. Yeah. So I started training clients privately, women, and as I was doing so, I started to catch myself canceling weekend sessions because I was hungover in the morning.
Wow.
And I sat with myself and I was like, dog, that's embarrassing. Yeah. This woman just paid you X amount of money to show up because she can't show up for herself. She needs you to help her. Yeah. And now you're canceling on them because you're hungover. Not because you're sick, not because you have because you hung over. Yeah. That is embarrassing. Yeah. And if I'm trying to grow this business, that's not a good reputation to have. Yeah. Because we're in the fitness world here in Vegas, you hear what other trainers do and what they're on. Yeah. I don't want that to be my MO. So I started putting together 7 a.m. Saturday group workouts to keep myself accountable. So I was like, if I do 7 a.m. group workout, I can't drink Friday night. Yeah. And if I don't show up 7 a.m., women are gonna show up, pay their money, and look like, where's he at? Yeah. And not come back. So that helped me gradually separate from the alcohol. Yeah. And Christmas 2025, I went to a music festival in 2021, December 2021. Yeah. Went to a music festival. It was like my last hoorah. I got so drunk, so messed up. In 3 days, I spent like $700 on liquor. Wow. And that was an embarrassing moment for myself also. I look at my account, I'm like, I'm liquor, bro? 700? I can spend 700 on a coach. Yeah. I can spend 700 on some type of product or self-help to help me get better.
You could have bought a jacket. You still would have had it longer.
Exactly. And at this point in my life, I've always followed and listened to some speakers like Eric Thomas. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he's all about that self-improvement, putting money into yourself. And his words hit me when I was looking at that, like 700 on liquor. That's embarrassing. Why I spend 700 on so much more to improve myself as a man, person, coach. And that's where I cut it off on Christmas 2021. Like, this is it. I'm done.
That's a hell of a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a
Christmas. I got lit. So I was like, all right, this is it.
Yeah. No, I love that, man, because, and the reason why I do love it, because it could have been you had that same testimony that you fell out of a window and God touched you or something like that. But no, your word, obviously today, your favorite word is probably is period, accountability. Yeah. And people can hear that story too. You know, at some point you can wake up and say, you know what, nah, I don't want to be like this no more. And that can happen. You can be strong enough to do that. because people are always waiting on that extra help. And sometimes the help is not going to show. The help is within you. It's going to come from within you. You got to make that decision. You know, speaking of Eric Thomas, I heard him recently talking about Serena Williams and Venus Williams, and they were saying that both of them were saying that what they felt like their weaknesses were. And even at the top of their game, or it seemed like it was at the top of their game, they had weaknesses that nobody else could have fixed but them. Serena felt like she was a little overweight, where we was highlighting that she had a big booty, but she felt like she was overweight and it was hurting her game. And Venus felt like she didn't have enough of the dog in her. You know, because you see she was winning, but once she started getting the competition, started getting a little bit tighter, she started falling by the wayside. So she had to go away and actually get tougher. And we're like, hold up, you at this level, you not tough enough? But that was something within them. And so I think your testimony literally is about how you can save yourself, not somebody else coming in to save you. What do you think about that?
I agree 100% because even if you want help and you need it, people are going to be as willing to help you if you can't even want to help yourself.
Yeah.
Right? So you think about people who are panhandling or anything like that, just a handout.
Yeah.
But if you see somebody struggling and grinding, you see somebody pushing their car, can run the gas, you're going to be like, let me go help them, right?
Yeah.
So it's true. And then as I started to work on myself and want to get better, I started to attract better.
Yeah.
I started to get around, without even trying, it's like the space just opened up where I met people who were about self-development, who were inspired by sobriety, and in return, they inspired me to want to level up even more personally, professionally, and you gotta want it for yourself more than others want it for you.
Yeah, you definitely do, and that's something that I think that in our community for sure, we got to say that 100,000 times because we are looking for somebody else to want it for us, and if they don't, we second guess ourselves. We say, oh, maybe it's not efficient because mom didn't support it, husband didn't support it, brother didn't support it. What were some of the changes that you had to make outside of just making the decision that you weren't going to drink? What were some of the other changes you made once you made that decision?
I had to change my environments, and I had to change where I decided to put my energy into. Whether that's me physically or emotionally, mentally, I had to remove space certain people had in my life, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and that was hard because when you do that, you're alone, right? Like you're alone. Like nobody's drinking with me. I'm not drinking anymore, so I'm not getting invited as much.
Yeah.
I don't want to be out past a certain time, so I want to get my sleep. I was prioritizing my sleep to prioritize my business. So you are alone, and there's moments where you feel like, damn. But I was so locked in on the grind to where I didn't even care that I was alone. Yeah. And when I look back now, it was about a good year when I went celibate and sober in the beginning. I look back, I was like, man, I really took back my power. I value myself at a higher level of who I want around me, who I let around me, and it helped me find myself.
Hold up. You took it to a whole nother level. You dropped one thing, that's okay. You went double trouble. You went celibate and sober at the same, same damn time, at the same damn time. How did you pull that off? First of all, much respect to you for that. How did you pull that off?
So back to when I started my business, I was like, I need to be 100% laser sharp because I left the group fitness gym. I'm all solo now. Nobody's cutting me a check. I have to earn it and get it, keep these clients.
Yeah.
In order to do that, I got to be focused. I got to work long. I got to be sleep. I can't be chasing women and liquor because through my past experiences,
they go together.
Yeah, exactly. But I was using women in a way to help validate myself as a man.
Yes.
Because I wasn't getting that as a kid. I didn't get that from my father. And I had to be real with myself. I'm like, after it's all said and done, we hook up, whatever, then what?
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's just a feeling.
Yeah.
So I was like, let me lock in. No women. My curfew is 6 p.m. I don't drink. So that made it easier for women who want to hang out. Let's go get a drink. I'm like, nah, dude, I'm locked in. I got to go to bed. I don't drink. So after about 7-8 months of that, I started to realize and take back my power.
Yeah.
I wasn't controlled by the idea of chasing a woman or trying to get some that night or anything.
Yeah, because we do some stupid stuff.
Oh, yeah.
For these women. Let me tell you something. I remember me and my wife was talking about that just like years ago, just talking about some of the dumb stuff that we were taught to do chasing women. And so you have stories of, I know me, with my cousin, we locked in the closet, literally R. Kelly locked his people in the closet for 3 hours. you know, because family members, you in the wrong neighborhood, got to get chased out of the neighborhood because you going to the projects because you trying to get this girl, you know, you weren't supposed to be over there. So yeah, that's really taking your power back, and we definitely got to talk to our young brothers about that. Speaking of that, what message would you give to young brothers that's coming up that feel like they gotta rush to get with a chick? You know what I'm saying? Immediately, as opposed to knowing what the hell they want to do with their life first. What would you tell them?
I would say focus on your future self first.
Yeah.
How do you want to see yourself in the future? What kind of man do you want to be?
Yeah.
How would you want somebody to treat, if you have females in your life, sisters, if you have a girlfriend, you have nieces? Think about life in that aspect.
Yeah.
And understand that it's great to have you, it's fun, and you know, it's a good feeling, and all those things, but your future self is so much more important.
Yeah.
And there's going to always be time to go after the women and chase that. But if you build yourself up and you become a high value person, you're going to attract a high value type of woman who's going to praise you and think you're everything because you decide to build yourself up first. And build your morals and values and how you move as a human.
Yeah, I love that, man. That has become, just like the sobriety piece, it's become a popular topic, especially for guys. Guys are talking about, hey, I ain't doing that for a year. And it's been a thing, you know, I've been seeing it. Have you been noticing the trend with guys, like you said, taking back their power? And what are some of the other things that guys been able to do when they said, all right, no, I'm going to step back from having sex for a year? What are some of those other things they've been able to do besides level up in business?
I think you get to know yourself because we can get so tied up in always doing.
Yeah.
You're at work. You're a father, you're a boyfriend, and then in your free time, you're trying to escape. So in that free time, what are you doing? You're going out with the boys, drinking, you're smoking, you're gambling, fantasy football, chasing women, all these things because you're trying to escape and get that, using your free time to get that dopamine still, instead of using that time and space to block it out, lock it on yourself. What is it you want to do? You want to be a fitness coach? You want to be a speaker? Do you want to have your podcast? Are you doing work to help you today to help you get there at some point? I
love it, man. I'm now being real. This is man talk here, you know, for any women listening. Is there any setbacks? You know, are we having the crazy wet dreams at first? For us that spent, you know, I ain't spent that much time in jail, but you spend a little bit of time, you start having little wet dreams and things like that. Are you going through those changes and stuff like that too? No, we gotta know. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't something no more, but no.
I'm talking about then when that happened.
Oh, no.
Okay. Yeah, because we got to know, because this is the thing, right? We always trying to sell something to our people, but we don't give them everything.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things I hate, is when you try to sell insurance to our people. Not because I don't like insurance. I got plenty of insurance. I love insurance. But stop trying to sell them that you're going to get $1 million when you die. Nobody want to hear that shit. No. Because I don't even like my wife like that, so I'm gonna leave her $1 million so you can go with another dude. No, how can it benefit me now? So I want you, if a brother, I can't do that because I'm married. But if somebody else, if I can help somebody else and it's going to really level you up, hey, what you want to deal with? What month one gonna be like? What second quarter gonna look like? 6 months of me not doing that after I was doing it on a regular basis. What's gonna happen? Am I gonna feel away? Am I gonna get stronger? Am I get sharper? You know, am I eat better? Am I sleep better? I want to know that. And I'm trying to ask you, did you experience better sleep? Were you sharper? Did you have better memory? You know, anything?
I think I definitely got sharper. I got more focused and clear. And once again, like I said earlier, I gained more power back in myself and confidence as a man that I'm not controlled by the idea of chasing something. And I think it's important for you as a man to learn to control your horny.
You got that right.
Because you can lose out on, it's so crazy, you can lose out on great women because you're so horny and you want to do that as opposed to make them a good friend, making a genuine connection. And once I learned that, I have some great women in my life now who are genuine friends, look out for me, reach out to me and give me opportunities, collaborate with me, help me with my business. And all because I took that out of it. Because at the end of the day, it's just a nut. It's just a nut, dude.
Yeah, even your business though, because... And again, you got to tell us, what was the first time when you turned down somebody who you was going to be you normally would have been I'm about to knock her down?
It was a woman who thought she was going to get free training. I was like,
my man,
you barking up the wrong tree. My money first, it's a business, And I'm practicing celibacy. Little do you know, like that was a good try.
Yeah, I love it.
No,
I love it. And that's look again. I know it kind of went another way, but this is education, and we really need to get people to know this, especially our brothers, sisters too, because you should encourage yourself and brothers, but not for because again, the sister would say that to a dude that they ain't want to give it to, not just because they're being celibate or nobody checking for them right now. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. You know. But brothers, we rarely ever would say that. This is a new phenomenon for us. Yeah. So at the end of the day, and talking to kids, I got a young son. I want to tell him like, all right, chill out. You don't gotta. You are a high value kid. You get straight A's. You go to private school. You play ball. You got. You do what you do. You ain't gotta just be chasing anybody. You know what I mean? Don't be like, oh, she showing me some affection, so I gotta jump after her. Like hell no. I look at my son just as important. I look at my daughter. I got both of them. So. That's why it hit me. That was a triggering thing for me. Yeah. So yeah, I gotta know. But all right, so you got finished with doing that. Again, salute to you for being able to do both at the same damn time. Yeah. I've never heard that. Yeah. But you did both at the same time. So that's dope. Now you in business. You said you stepped off by yourself. What was just knocking it out the park, trying to figure out that being a full-time entrepreneur life like?
Shit, it's still hard, right? It never gets easier.
Yeah.
But I something about me loves the challenge of it. Yeah. The chase. I guess it's chaos that I like because you are working for yourself. So in a sense, you do have some freedom. Yeah. But at the same time, you're working more than you did at a 9 to 5.
It's just your lifestyle.
Yeah.
At this point.
And exactly. And the fact that I'm doing something that I enjoy, I love, and look forward to, it doesn't feel like work. Like one of my clients asked the other day, like, do you have any days off? And I thought about it, I was like, not really. But it don't even feel like work sometimes because I'm training women, we're talking, we're chatting. Yeah. That I'm lucky enough to have women clients who our personalities mesh. Same sense of humor, same views on life. I just got lucky enough to have those to where we're talking and shooting shit. It's amazing. And I get to hear their dating life situations. And I'm telling you now, it's cool because I have, 12, 15 clients, different relationship status, different ages, different. I get to learn, not how women mind works, but it's almost preparing me to learn. Yeah. Once I do get into a relationship, I'm like, okay, now I got a little something in my toolbox.
So you only work with women?
I train fellas too.
Oh, okay.
But women's the main things that have come to me.
Yeah. Women want to fix themselves way more than we do. Mm-hmm. But again, that goes back to what you said about the celibacy and just the thought process that we have. It's like, we talk about women who fall back once they get a man, but a lot of men fall back too once they get a woman. Yeah. Like, look, I got my kids, I got my girl, I'm good. Like, I'm chilling now. I used to be there, I call it the Al Bundy syndrome. I 4 touchdowns in a single game, I was all city, now I'm good. I'm good on that. What advice do you give us in our 40s and 50s like that, hey, you still got some more time to look the best you can, feel the best you can, and things like that? What kind of advice do you give brothers like that?
It goes back to the future self, right? You got to think about how you want to be when you're in your 60s, your 70s, your 50s. You want to be self-sustaining, don't you? Yeah. You want to be able to carry the groceries. You want to be able to have the energy to go watch your kids play, watch your kids grow up. Yeah. If you're not taking care of yourself now, in your 40s and 50s or 30s, however old you are, in 5-10 years, sorry to say, our bodies are going to decline naturally regardless of what you do. Yeah. So it's best to build yourself up in a way when you hit your 70s, you out there, people are looking like, damn, you 70?
Yeah.
You doing this and that? Like, and you don't got to go do crazy CrossFit or run marathons, but do enough to where you can bend down, pick up the trash without throwing your back out. Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
Yeah, definitely. So this is probably one of the most important things. Helping other individuals with their sobriety. When did that start for you?
So that started maybe 2.5 years into it. Okay. As I started to post on social media, I would get feedback. Like, hey, congratulate me, but also, what did you do? How did this, questions like that. And people would send me their sobriety, like, hey, I'm 2 months sober now, what I do here? So once I started getting that, I got a business coach and put together a sober coaching online program to help people so they don't feel alone. Yeah. Because it's like, I went through it, it was lonely, it was hard, but I'm built different, so I was able to sustain it. But I understand, because you're going to lose your identity, you're going to lose relationships, you're going to have moments where you feel lost and by yourself. And so the coaching program I put together is to help people navigate that. Yeah. That way you don't feel alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you're trying to get in shape or anything and you don't know how, you go get a coach. You trying to make some extra money and build your business, you get a coach.
Oh, so, tell them that. You can't say that one more time. They trying to build your business, they do what?
Get a coach. You got to. Regardless, and I don't know why people are so against it, and it's because it's money, but I'm like, it's an investment. If you go look at your account right now and look at everything that's coming out for certain things, are those certain things even helping you elevate? Is the streaming services, is the food, is all that.
Yeah.
Add it all up in 1 month, I guarantee you have enough money that can get you one session a month. But people are so scared to start small with that one session. What am I gonna do for one session? That one session with Jay, he might give you a gem that's gonna change your life that you didn't even realize.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's about access too. You know, people gotta learn that.
Oh, man, you gotta pay to play.
Yeah, you gotta pay to get access to things. And a lot of times we just wanna get it. We think that we just that dope, that we just supposed to get access without, an investment. And then I'm old school business. I've been in business for more than 20 years. I was when social media wasn't even here. And we said, and I got a business degree, we said 30% of your budget should be about advertising. So if you are the business, 30% of the budget should be going into bettering you, putting you in a position, getting a coach, something like that. Nobody talks about that no more, but you should be spending money. I don't know how what sense it makes if you want to make 100 grand, but you scared to spend 10. But if I told you straight up, give me 10, you'll get 100, you'll do it, but no problem. But it's the same thing. You got to spend 10 to get 100, maybe 10 to get 50. You might have to spend 20 to get 100. And that's what it is. And part of that 20 might fall into a coach, might be some training, might be classes or whatever. Maybe advertising in the local newspaper or somebody's magazine, paying to get on a podcast or doing something. Like, people don't want to spend money because of social media, not realizing that it doesn't work. Even social media don't work that well unless you start putting a little bit of bread behind it, or you're going to put in sweat equity. You know what I mean? One way or the other, so your time or the money. But like you said, you got to pay to play one way or the other.
And what's crazy is, I don't know how it works with the human psyche, but we don't value free. Because everything that you want to do in life, podcast, business, fitness, you can go on YouTube and look it up.
Yeah.
Any workouts I put my clients through,
yeah,
you can go on YouTube. There's no secret sauce. I'm hitting workouts, but it's free, so people don't value it. But when you pay, you gotta show up.
Yeah.
If you're paying me a couple $100 a month,
yeah,
you ain't gonna skip out. But if you're going to EOS, the small gym, $20 a month, it's $20.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
Yeah.
But if you wake up and our session is X amount, you can be like, I ain't missing that.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. People don't realize that you gotta pay because it's gonna keep you accountable. Unless you balling out of control and you don't mind wasting a couple $100, whatever.
Yeah.
Keep listening to the free webinars and whatever, but you're not gonna put it forward because it's free. So you can watch all the Instagram people and everything.
Yeah.
Most people don't put every information they see to use. What they do is they get a dopamine hit, they go from one person, then they go to the next one.
Yeah, you have those jumpers and hoppers, man.
I've been one before. It's where I'm just watching this person, motivation, Eric Thomas, and now I'm gonna go to Tony Robbins.
Yeah,
but then I said, I'm like, what did I put to use for myself?
Yeah. What in your training do you have to help them get to your position, like far as like where you were able to help yourself? Because that was, for me, one of the most powerful portions of your testimony. Like, I was waiting to hear that you met Eric Thomas and you went to one of his courses and he came in and you like, look, nah, I'm not going that way, I'm going this way. So what do you have to teach them in your training to teach people to possibly get to that point where they can make that decision on their own?
It's helping them rewire the belief system. That's really what it is. It's how you perceive yourself.
Yeah.
I heard a quote, and I love it. It's like perception drives performance.
Yeah, I love it.
So how you perceive yourself is going to ultimately determine how you perform. If you perceive yourself as the most best fire podcast host in the world, or you're going to show up as so.
Yeah.
And you're going to do things and make sure you show up as so. You're going to show up on time. You're going to make sure things are set right. You're going to do test runs. You're going to make sure you work on your speaking, your question asking, and that's going to ultimately, you're going to perform better. So helping people switch their mindset and beliefs on alcohol for one.
Yeah.
Culture and life makes you believe you needed to celebrate, you needed to do these things. No, you don't. There's no benefit from alcohol at all, not one.
I was about to ask you that. Give us some of the things, some of the biggest misconceptions about alcohol that you've learned since you've gone through your sobriety journey.
The things I just mentioned now that people think you need them for celebrations, and that's not true. You can celebrate without it. You guys are thinking, why do I need it to be fun? What am I missing in me that I can't show up and be fun without alcohol?
Yeah.
And that was hard for me because I used to think I was only funny or outgoing because of alcohol.
What about when people say like a glass of wine a day keep the doctor away? Is that fact or fiction?
I don't think it's fact or fiction. I don't think it's horrible.
Okay.
But I think it's important people ask themselves why.
Okay.
Why do you need a glass of wine every night?
Okay.
What's the response? Oh, wind down. Okay, but why wine? And you keep asking them, and figure out, you get to the root issue of what it really is. There's some void.
Or maybe it's just that's what they saw. You know, I had somebody, I was talking to somebody recently, and it was amazing. She said, she gave a testimony about how the grandmothers used to cut off portions of the roast.
Yeah, I heard about this.
Yeah, and just going ahead and put it in the pot, and then the mama started doing it, now the kids doing it. Like, why do we do this? All to find out that the grandfather had to say, nah, it wasn't because of that. The pot wasn't big enough. Yeah. That's why she had to cut it in just to fit it. So, you know, you never know why you're doing things. I think it is true that you need to actually find out so you can know, like, is this habit a real habit? Or is it something I adopted from somebody else? But you hear all these things about, oh, you drink, because they said like the Queen of England drinks like a thing of gin once a night.
Wow.
You know, or she did before she passed away. And it helped her digestive system. I'm trying to figure out if this was something that was true or not. You know?
I don't know the science behind that. I do know everybody's relationship with alcohol is different.
Yeah.
And I think you have to sit and ask yourself, what is yours? How is yours?
Yeah.
For me, mine was blackout, sober, no gray area. There are people who I know, and you might be one of them, where you can go, you can have a drink with your dinner. You know what I mean? Or go with the white date night, you have a couple drinks, but go home and you're good. Mm-hmm. That's kudos to you. You can do it. Mm-hmm. But there's people who don't even question or think or ask. They're on autopilot all the time.
Love it. Yeah. That, you know, it's funny you said that because we got to think about everybody. And I think that your family too, I've heard what people say, I don't drink like that because my family has addictions, you know, I have a history of addiction. So do you feel like that plays a huge part in it as well?
Yeah, it's unfortunate because there's people who have addiction in their family and then they fall into it.
Yeah.
Or they can, like you said, go on the other side of the spectrum and be like, I'm staying away.
Yeah.
I knew a friend who had family addiction, so she didn't do anything, but she drank.
Yeah.
And she drinks.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dog, you have the addiction.
But that's an addiction too.
It's just a different drug.
I think, and you can tell me if you think so, but they tell me that, you know, alcohol is probably worse than most things.
Yeah, I think so because think of the perception of it. You go on TV right now, you're gonna see alcohol. You're not gonna see heroin on TV.
So why is it legal?
I don't know. Money, politics. I don't know.
Yeah, we gotta get down to, like you were just saying, getting down to the root of it. You know, because I think that even from your training, and that'll continue to take it to the next level. Because I believe at some point, if it hasn't already happened, you're gonna save somebody's life.
Yeah.
And it's going to probably need to go past just, oh, this is what I did and I was strong enough to do it and it's cool. I'm looking good, I'm smelling good, I'm doing this. But like, hey man, are we ready to fight for this thing? Are we ready to go fight big, alcohol or, like we used to do the big tobacco with cigarettes and stuff like that to make sure that we're safe, or if they are putting something out there, it's safe, because our kids, you can go to war, at 18, but you ain't not supposed to drink till you're 21. Like, what's the deal? But then again, that's killing people. Yeah. Cigarettes killing people, that's legal too. Like, what are we doing right now with this situation?
Yeah, it's crazy you say that, because tobacco, cigarettes, they kill people, the cancer and all that, and it's been legal for years. I don't know, I think, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think it's money. It's always money.
Yeah, man, we got to figure this thing out. I love your story. I'm glad to have you here, man, because, and I go a little bit deeper because I want to get answers too. I want you to lead with some answers. I want you to lead with things that you probably didn't think about, and preferably you can add it to what you're doing for people, because I did think about my parents who both were addicts, but now they're sober from their big addictions, but they're still the cigarette stuff. And for me, I'm sitting here like, yo, y'all in y'all 60s, yo. Y'all ain't spoke enough. Like, it's not, that's my biggest thing. Like, yo, all right, I get it. It was probably cool, especially when we were younger. All our TV shows had somebody smoking a cigarette, so especially when they were younger, they probably seen everybody smoking. You know that it ain't cool no more. I had my dad, love him to death, shout out to my pops. He had to postpone surgery for 6 months because he had to stop smoking first
Damn.
in order for him to have the surgery. And I'm like, dude, don't call me until you finish that. Cause like, what are you doing? Like, yo, they said you gotta have the surgery, but they're not having the surgery until you stop smoking for a certain amount of time. You're supposed to jump right on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, you've been doing this since you was a kid. Like, yo, you should be able to fall back. I get it, it's addictive, but no, I think it's wrapped around people's lifestyle. When I go take a dump, I'm smoking. When they finish eating, they listening. Like, I'm mad, I smoke. I do this. Same thing with drinking. I'm mad, I gotta do this, stuff like that. What can we change about our lifestyle that can make us less addictive?
Focus on learning your emotions
Yeah.
and your reaction to them, and understand it's okay to sit with them, right?
Wow, that's a good one.
Some people get anxious, they get nervous, and they do what they can to get out of discomfort. You don't have to feel good all the time.
Oh, man, that's powerful.
It's okay to sit.
That's powerful.
And I learned that through my sobriety. When I said I cut everybody off, I put myself in solitude. There were nights where I sat there and I'm fidgeting and I'm just like, what do I do?
Ooh, wow.
Right? Like, you can only scroll your phone so much, you can only do so much. And I allowed myself to feel that discomfort, and it passes.
Wow.
It passes.
Man,
Isn't it a crazy thing?
Yeah,
It passes.
that's amazing.
That's the wildest thing people don't understand. It passes. You're not gonna die.
Yeah, wow, that's powerful, man. Because I mean, that's what a lot of addicts think, especially like the heroin addicts again and stuff like that. They feel like, I'm not gonna go cold turkey because I might die.
Yeah.
You know, that's medicine for them. You know, and some people think that the liquor is medicine for them. Speaking of that, did you have any side effects when you stopped?
Yeah.
What was some of them?
The biggest side effect I had was my sugar craving.
Wow.
Yeah, so once I quit, after about 3-4 months, my sugar craving went to the roof. I've always enjoyed sweets here and there, but never like a super sweets person. And there was a point in the early stages where I would order on DoorDash, I would get a box of crumble cookies, like 4 cookies.
Yeah.
I eat them all, and then I would order a dozen donuts, eat them all. 3 to 4 nights a week for about a month or two.
Wow.
Because I couldn't handle the discomfort. And the sugar gave me the dopamine hit. It made me feel safe. It made me feel good. And it was scary. I got scared because I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop myself. It was like I was eating it, and like myself was watching myself eat it.
Yeah.
And I went to the doctor and I told him, hey man, this is going on. What should I do? His ass didn't give no help, man. Like, he didn't really know, you know? So I just reminded myself, it's a phase.
Yeah.
It's going to pass. And after time it passed. But even now, to this day, I just realized this. I'm almost 4 years sober. I still get triggered in group environments, like get-togethers, parties, and I just put it together recently, and I still get triggered, and what I do is everybody's drinking, have a good time, I go eat.
Yeah.
I'm not even hungry, I'm full. We already had steak, but I'll still eat just because. And 4 years, and I barely put that together.
Wow.
Still things, and a part of me was like, you know what, just don't go. Nah, that's running from it.
Yeah.
Let me go and be
fight.
aware,
Yeah, fight.
and figure out how I can get through it. So that's where I'm at now, 4 years into my sobriety journey, still learning.
Wow, man, that's powerful. Did you ever have to go to any meetings and
No,
things like that?
I never went to a meeting. Personally, for me, when I only know about AA through what you see on social media, or you can look up. The idea of sitting there and call myself alcoholic, I don't like that.
Okay.
Because I think most people know words are powerful.
Yeah.
And call myself alcoholic, that's not how I view myself.
Yeah.
I view myself as somebody who didn't know how to regulate their emotions,
Yeah.
and I used an unhealthy way to cope.
Okay.
That's how I would rather frame it,
Love it.
as opposed to labeling myself something that just sounds not bad.
Wow.
Personally.
No, that's powerful in itself. Would you consider starting something AA-ish?
Yeah.
But making it something more powerful, as you would say, and more motivating and more inspiring and more empowering.
Yeah, I'm in the works of putting them together. So I had the sober coaching group that I did about a year ago. Now I'm putting something else together where it's going to be more of a, I don't know the name of it, I'm going to call it yet, I'm still figuring it out. But to what you said, it's going to be not AA because I've never been.
AA-ish.
Yeah. But my goal with people with coaching, helping them get through sobriety, is getting you to a point where you don't feel like you have to try to stop or try to not. Like I could walk into a liquor store right now, I'm not going to feel enticed. I know it's not for me no more.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to have to feel like you have to always go to a meeting. You always have to try to not drink. I want to help you rewire your brain so that's just not even a thought. It's not even a thought in my head anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely in the works of putting together some type of cohort where it'll be 8 weeks. We get together, we do community work, we work out, we talk about real shit like this, not just
playing around.
Yeah, and just say no. No, dude, it's deeper than that. There's a deeper reason. There was a deeper reason why I chose the drink I did, right? My dad wasn't in my life.
Yeah.
And I chose to use alcohol because it made me the life of the party.
Yep.
It made me loved by everybody.
Yeah.
And that's unhealthy.
Hey man, listen, I just do my best to upgrade every show, and this right here was just that because again we got a chance to talk about some amazing things. Of course, on brand, you are an entrepreneur, and I want you to let everybody know how they can find you. But I wanted people to definitely get this story, man. Yeah. And it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. So that's a good thing. That's a blessing. You know what I mean? I was preparing for one thing, but it was definitely caught me off guard. But I wanted to see, I love the strength though. I love people seeing strength.
Yeah.
We always lean on somebody, and there's nothing wrong with leaning if you have to be that, but we have to highlight people like yourself who didn't feel like they had to lean on that. I never heard, I bet you can listen to 1,000 people and 990 of them probably never heard somebody say that, oh, I don't like AA because of, I don't want to call myself an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I love people doing their own thing. Like, I ain't calling myself an alcoholic. I ain't calling myself that. And I support people who do go to NAAA and who say that and feel that way. It's not saying that it's wrong.
Yeah.
But you stand on your own 2 feet, doing your own thing, your own way. And I always salute that over anything, man. So, again, congratulations to you on 4 years. And, looking forward to 400 more.
Yeah.
You and the people who you sponsor and show how to be great in this space. Tell everybody how to find you, how they can go ahead and get in shape with you. If they need a sobriety coach, anything, give them all your information.
Before I do that, it's crazy when you said those days. My goal for sure is to get to 50, 11 days.
Wow.
Because Usher said it in the song, 50, 11 days.
Yeah.
So I looked that up. It's like another 5 years. But yeah,
you will get there.
You can just look at my Instagram through my name, Dorian Warmsley, on all platforms, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube. Reach out to me. I'm here to help you in with any way I can. And I'll leave you with a quote. My favorite quote is, I'm going to be an example that change is possible.
Wow. Yeah, it definitely is. And we're looking at change right here. Again, that's one of the reasons why I love doing what I do. Because, again, as I said, we spend our whole time on social media talking about the 1%. These ultra-rich people who doing stuff that you might not ever meet. They probably only give you an opportunity to learn about their ups and downs. So you really can't learn. You're only speculating. But there are people in that 98% that are knocking it out the park, came from nothing, being able to do something that's right here. Even especially us black people, when we make a little money, we get out of the hood. Of course, we got to get out of the hood. So that young brother without a father is not seeing somebody else's dad who became a lawyer, doctor, whatever the case may be. We don't see it. And what we see on social media is just, again, the ultra rich. So I'm glad to be able to create a platform to have regular people like myself saying, hey, we all right, we ain't starving, we making things happen, and you guys can do it too. So if you want to keep seeing more people like that, definitely tap into In the Studio with J. Haleem on YouTube. Go it's YouTube/In the Studio with J. Haleem. You can go to Instagram In the Studio with J. Haleem as well. If you want to follow me, I am J. Haleem on all platforms. Stay connected. We're right here in Las Vegas. The biggest and best platform is going to be the biggest, I'm speaking into existence, platform for this right here in the Vegas Valley. We're going to come on here and see your people. People look just like you. We ain't got to wait on the TV. We ain't got to wait on the radio. It's right here in the studio with your boy. And I'll talk to y'all soon. See you next.